Hello, Cinephalers. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Shayna, for those of you who don't know. So today I'll be reacting to Season 1, Episode 1 of The Witcher. This first episode is called The End's Beginning. So let's just jump right into it. I don't know anything about the lore of this story, or I hear it's a game, if I'm right. I am, however, a fan of Henry Cavill's, so I follow his Facebook page, and I saw the trailer come up, and I didn't react to the trailer. I'm sorry. But I did see before, like earlier, when there was talks of him not being Superman anymore, and like that's up in the air, which I think is kind of, they need to do something with that and let him finish out the story, or let them do, or maybe they're just ending that whole DC. But let me not get into that whole thing. But I think he was a great Superman, and I'll just leave it at that. Uh, so, but The Witcher, so his character Geralt of Rivia, I think that's Geralt of Rivia. That's what they kept saying. Well, they didn't say his name that much. They kept calling him Witcher, Witcher, Witcher in this episode. So my take of it is that he's a mutant, and he's like a monster hunter, and his kind is not like really welcome around people, but they want to use him for their deeds of whatever, like hunting a monster for money or getting rid of people or whatever. Um, that's kind of trifling though, right? You only want to use, you don't like them, but you only want to use them for whatever you need. That is kind of trifling. And then there's the story of him going on, and we're being introduced to his character, which I think this whole world is just being set up for us to know some of the main characters, like this Princess Cerelia of Sintra, this whole kingdom that's being under attack and being destroyed by Nilfgaard. I know that fans will probably get me with the pronunciation of these words. I am so sorry. I know how I am with things that I'm a fan of like in comic books or a game or something, and I know how it's pronounced or whatever, or I know the lore, and someone gets it wrong. But I am just talking about what Netflix put out. I'm just talking about the TV show that Netflix put out and what was just presented to me. I didn't go do any research. I saw the trailer. Like I said, I'm a fan of Henry Cavill's. I've been a fan of his since he played Albert Mondego on The Count of Monte Cristo, which is one of my favorite films, FYI. It's up there in my top 100 list. The Count of Monte Cristo is one of my favorites. So, let's talk about, I guess, production value was pretty great. You could tell that they put a lot of time and effort and energy in this. It's a period piece. Don't know what time period it's in. It reminds me sort of, I did not watch, I might catch flack for this. I only watched 4 episodes of Game of Thrones. Yeah. But from what I saw, like the period piece of that, of how they made it look like back in the day, olden times. Yeah, it kind of looked like that. Kind of had that feel with those mystical, magical elements. What else? I did read an article one time about, or a headline to the article. Let me stop lying. I read a headline to the article that why did they choose someone as handsome as Henry Cavill to play Geralt of Rivia? But the thing is, watching this and his makeup and all those things, and watching his character at first I was like, there's Henry. But then going on, I forgot it was Henry that was playing Geralt. So from the accent, like he was doing a deep gravelly voice, and um, I can't do it, but it was great. And so I was very lost in the character. So I think for me, he did a really good job in bringing this character to life, because usually with actors, I know like, oh, that's them, you know. But when you get lost in the story and you're following along, that's a good sign that they're doing a good job. So thumbs up to you, Henry, for doing a good job. Um, Also, I'm trying to follow the story along. I kind of jumped out of the story a little bit when I saw, what's his name, Strogabog, that wizard from the beginning. I was like, oh, that man, the flat face, those dead eyes. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Charles Augustus Magnusson. The man who played Magnuson from Sherlock plays the Wizard of Strogabog. I think that's his name, Strogabog. Y'all correct me. Correct me on these names, on how to pronounce them. I'll get to know them more as the series goes on. I just watched one episode. What else? So production value was good. Costumes were good. I think the storyline is like I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. There's something called Lilith. Um, so I'm trying to figure out what that is. I'm trying to figure out about these wizards and their powers. And you know what? I don't know what happened to that one wizard that was protecting Princess Cerelia. Does anybody know what happened to him towards the end? Laszlo, spoiler alerts for everyone. If I'm talking about my initial reactions, you click on a video, there's going to be spoilers. Sorry, it's 7 minutes in and spoilers. But Laszlo is killed towards the end. After the queen kills herself, and all those other people kill themselves, who I have no clue who they were. But then the wizard tells Cerelia and Laszlo, but before Laszlo is killed, to go, let me protect you. I gave your grandmother my word. And he goes off, and I don't see nothing else. I don't see nothing else from him. So who knows what he did. That's something that, maybe in the editing process, he just got lost. Something was cut for time. I understand those things, but don't establish it either. Have to find a way to cut around those things with the story, so leave us hanging, unless they're going to go back in time. At one point in time, I thought maybe this is a like going back and forth type, the future and the past or something. I don't know. That's what I was trying to think. And like at one moment I was like, is that her dad? It's Renfrey and Geralt, their characters, they're together. And oh, is this the future? Is she in the future? This is happening. And now she's gonna go find her dad. Like I said, I have no clue about this lore, but now towards the end I saw no, that's not it. But he's her destiny, Cerelia's destiny. So I'm trying to follow along with the story. Let me know if I missed anything. I just watched it on my phone. How sad is that? But that's my way to watch things, because I do have a TV, I do have a DVD player, but I don't have cable and I don't have the internet. I have data, unlimited data on my phone, and that is it. That's my access to the outside world. What else? So I talked about production value. I talked about Henry's acting a little bit. The Marilka girl, she had a very heavy accent at the beginning, so I had to turn on the caption to capture what she was saying, because she was losing me at that time. And then they got two girls that looked kind of alike, so I wasn't sure where I was when Maruka was talking about enjoying killing rats and dogs, and then it cuts to another girl playing in the street who's dressed up like a boy. I wasn't sure if that was Maruka, so I got kind of lost there. But I got back on track and realized that they were two different people. What else? The thing that impressed me a lot was the sword fight towards the end between Geralt and Renfri's guys. Oh my gosh. I had to go back. I really did. I was like, this is some of the best sword fighting I've seen. I mean, granted, there's a lot of great sword fight scenes out there, especially like if you've watched, great sword battle scenes too. But if you watch something like, was it Red Cliff? Those battle scenes, stuff like that. I have some other, like, those Dynasty movies that they have those big battle scenes in, and the sword fighting in that is awesome. But how they shot this and how the choreography of the swordplay and everything was really good, and I was really impressed. Especially, I guess if this is a Netflix production, did Netflix actually do this, or is it another production company that did it and then they sold it to Netflix? Let me know. But I really enjoyed that part. I'm like, if this is going to be the type of action, because at the beginning when he's like fighting that monster, it's kind of convoluted a little bit. But at the end, when it really like focused on him and his strength and his power, like he had the magic fly from his hands and stuff like that, I was like, oh snap, snap, oh snap. This is great. Oh my gosh, go Henry, go Henry. That's when I was say go Henry, because I rewound it. But anyway, that was great. What else? Oh, it was funny too. So it had like some beats in there. So right before that sword fight scene happened, he drops the F-bomb, and it's like, oh, sorry, I'm laughing. But that's what it was like. It was just, I have to do this. And he kills everybody. And then at the end, when he beheads that man, that was as satisfying as when Thor beheaded Thanos at the beginning of Endgame. Okay, so, what else? What's up with naked women all the time in these things? Was that pertinent to the story? You don't have the men walking around with all their stuff out. Is it pertinent to the story for these women to be walking around naked? That's why I stopped watching Game of Thrones, to tell the honest truth. I thought that, I'm like, oh man, this is a really great story, but why do people have to always be naked? The story is fine by itself. The scene would have played out between Geralt and Strågerborg, or I'm having an issue saying Magnuson. The story would have played out, that scene would have played out fine. It didn't have to be, it was not pertinent to the story. Sometimes, as a filmmaker and as storytellers, you have to ask yourself, is that pertinent? Is that really creating the world that I want to create? He created an illusion, okay? Create something different. Be more original. I mean, that's been done. I'm still, I don't think I'm the only one that's just tired of that. Okay? I don't want to see it. That's the truth. I don't want to see it. And honestly, I don't want to see the men walking around either. But it's just, I hate to get on this entire rant, but that is not pertinent to the story. Always ask yourself, when you're putting out something, you're writing a story, and I know as storytellers sometimes we're like, oh, well, it led to this, and then it's just creating the world, and it's creating this feel in this environment, and we get so artsy, or not even that, it's just, you know, this type of thing sells, and this is what really makes it art when you put naked people up. Vincent Van Gogh is considered one of the best artists ever in the world. I don't think he's ever had a naked portrait painted. He had the potato eaters, they were clothed. He did his self-portrait in different lights. I don't know how many times. He was always clothed. He did the escapes. You know, there was no naked people when they're there. I'm just trying to think. Johannes Vermeer, another one. Did he have naked people? Considered one of the greatest artists. So you're saying that we can enjoy art without that? Just something to think about. Well, let me know your thoughts. I really enjoyed The Witcher. Episode 1. The beginning of the end. That's what it is. The beginning of the end. I think that Cerelia is this Lilith thing that they were talking about. I think that she possesses some power inside of her. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Don't give away anything about the game, but you can like open up a little bit, like about Geralt and some of his characteristics and things like that, a little bit more about his mutation and why they don't like him, things like that. But don't give away stuff that will happen in the future. Keep that spoiler free. Okay, thank you all for joining me. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel, and stay tuned for more reactions to The Witcher.